Hey everybody. Again, another video I wasn't planning on making, but I wanted to point out something to you is that I've made many mistakes, tons of mistakes in my life. And one thing that I did that I would like to talk about is I did something kind of shitty, spewed my anger and aggression and hate onto a neighbor a couple of years back. That neighbor has kind of rightfully shunned me ever since. I get it. I am the one that caused the problem because there were a bunch of people over at his house. They were setting up a pool, and we already had a good, decent flood in our property many years ago. Had to gut the whole basement, rip it out, start over. Had thankfully $10,000 of sump pump coverage, $1,000 deductible. They gave us a $9,000 check, and we blew 40 grand, almost 50 grand into the basement. So the rest was cash. And most people aren't sitting on that shit, but you know, we don't have cash like that now. You know, but I wanted to say something. They were setting the pool up. Their elevation was higher than mine. As soon as I saw that, I just no, red flags. I don't know this guy. I don't know his true mentality. I don't know his knowledge or not knowledge on draining a pool properly. If he just releases it, it's all going into my backyard and potentially into the house. So I had an immediate issue with it and went over there and addressed it. And I said, hey, who's the boss of this operation? It's kind of short and blunt. And I said, you got a second? Because I didn't want to talk directly in front of all of his friends, but it ended up going down like that anyway. And I said, hey, what's going on? I said, I don't want to flood. I said, paranoid, whatever. He said his piece. Everything was good. I think that we had an understanding. He doesn't have to understand me. I went over there to kind of understand his mindset and where he was at. I don't ask anything of people. I don't expect them to be in tune. But, one thing that I do ask is the kindness of forgiveness and the willingness to consider that I don't do stuff wrong to you every day. I don't think I've done anything wrong since then. It's been a couple years. And, we don't have to be pool shooting, beer drinking buddies at the bar, but I don't think we have to have hate towards one another and probably shitty nicknames. Probably got a bad nickname, probably got a bad nickname for me. And I just hope you guys have a level head and understand that I'm just a guy. I'm just a human. I made a bad mistake. I put my wrong foot forward. And to continue down this path of separation when we're right behind one another makes me feel like there is animosity and bad feelings towards me. And you got two choices. You can continue to feel that way for life, or you can release that, let it go, and say, you know what? I watched this video. He thought it was important enough to just even post it. Because when I go knock on the door, I can't even get an answer. Maybe people don't want to touch me with the 10-foot pole. Maybe they conspire against, and therefore, why would I answer the door if you're thy enemy? But I hope that's not 456. Look that up in the book. Um, Sorry I didn't go to K through 12 in this small town with you, but I've been here 20 plus years. You know, you don't get any credit for time served, you just get credit for a situation that you caused. And then that's the only credit you get is you did this, you shit on me, screw you for life. I don't need you. You're right, you don't need me. I don't need you. But it's, if we're going to be neighbors and there's, 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 years to go, might as well turn the ship around, right? We don't have to be enemies. I stick to my privacy because I feel like I'm highly in tune with people's thoughts, and I feel as if you're against me. You're not the only neighbor I felt this way. It could be a catty little town of Canton, South Dakota. If you didn't do K through 12 and ride your bicycle here, then you're nothing. And you never will be. That's hometown pride. Let that shit go. Other people are going to move to your town. The town's going to change. That's life. That's called evolution, for the better or worse. Things evolve. Like our relationship should evolve. My name's Gino. G-E-N-O. Gino. Hey Gino. How's it going? I'm bad at names, but I'd like to think I'm good at saying it. But ball's in your court. If it was meant to be, hate to say it, but don't go to church on Sunday. You're not willing to forgive your neighbor on Monday. Or by Monday. Don't listen to it. Live it. And I shall try to do the same. And then that makes us not only civil, but maybe enjoyable or fun to be around. So, just don't want shady shit going on around me, because I've had that shit in the past. It fails. It always fails. Conspiracy to go against fails. And it will always fail. But it doesn't mean that the amateur hour doesn't try. Like, unlike, not attracted to, different. That's different. That's different. I don't like different. Different is not me. I like same. Let that shit go. Learn to like different. Learn to let go. Learn to release. Learn to allow. If you go to bed every day, you wake up and you come home drained or whatever, if you're not working your ass off in the sun. But if you labor. If you come home and you're drained and exhausted, it's because I think a lot of women, a lot of moms certainly fall into this category. You're taking on too much stuff. And age appropriate, you need to have your kids realize, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, they need to realize mom is not the savior. Mom is your helper. Mom is your temporary teacher. Maybe for 50 years, maybe for 18 years. But I am your temporary teacher. I am here to help you. how may I help you through this situation that you're having? And your kids are going to look at you in a different light and go, wow, this guy is a push button talk center. When I need him, he's going to be there and he's going to give me my fully undivided attention and advice. So if I can do that to my children, I can also do that to my neighbors and all other humans in life. But they have to be receptive. If you're not receptive and you're not tuned in Tokyo to the frequency, then you're going to be on what I consider a lower level vibration of frequency of, the bottom feeder, the plankton, the bottom feeders, because all they can do is hate. I've been there. It wastes and it takes up all of your reserve energy and then some. Invest in yourself for free. Go online to YouTube and type in breathing techniques and learn something for your body. You won't. You'll doom scroll instead. Food for thought. Later.